Hey there, I'm Austin Siedentoff.
And I'm Brianna Varela. Welcome back to the Daily's Double Shot.
We've got another great episode lined up for you guys today, so let's just jump right into it.
First off, we'll take a look at an emerging parkour community here at UW.
Then we'll look at a recap of Collaboration Seattle, an Asian American talent show that UW team Nadia competed in.
After that, we'll take a quick tour of the medical facilities in the brand new Montlake Tower.
David Christman reviews the Wachowski siblings' most recent work, Cloud Atlas, in his latest edition of Film Focus.
We listen to two writers for the Daily as they sit down and talk about what the song Gangnam Style means for K-pop in America.
And last up, David Christman does another review, not of a movie, but of a restaurant called Cultivate in Elm Hall.
All this coming up
on the Daily's Double Shot.
Ooh, what is that? Try to be nice.
Yeah.
I'll see you there. Okay.
Hey Brianna, do you know what parkour is?
Yeah.
Do you think that I could do a flip off this table?
Not with a wired mic.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. In any case, there's a burgeoning parkour community here at UW. Let's take a look.
Justin Sweeney spent his childhood in Hawaii jumping off rocks and climbing trees. After moving to Seattle, Sweeney discovered parkour and is now a head coach at Parkour Visions in North Queen Anne.
Parkour is, in lamest terms, the most efficient way to get from point A to point B. So it's using jumping, crawling, vaulting, different movements to overcome obstacles to get to a path efficiently. It's also known as the art of displacement because it's the most minimal displacement from here to there.
Sweeney was recently on season 4 of the television show American Ninja Warrior. This show challenges competitors to complete an intense obstacle course while refraining from getting wet. Sweeney placed 4th in the first run and 6th in the second run. He made it in the top 15 contestants, which earned him the chance to compete in Las Vegas.
A couple people in my gym have done it before, and we hold our own competitions at the gym. We call them Sasuke, which is what Ninja Warrior used to call itself in Japan. And we have competitions that have a very similar format. And then we had people come from Colorado to try our competition and end up winning that competition. They're like, hey, you should try out Ninja Warrior, you probably do really well. It was fun. It was something I'd seen when I was a kid watching TV, and I always saw the course like, oh, I could probably do that. It'd be pretty fun. I had a really good time. The best part was by meeting really talented people. And it turns out that more and more people doing parkour do Ninja Warrior. I'd say 70 to 80% of the finalists are parkour people because we're already working on coming over obstacles and things that translate directly to an obstacle course. The course itself probably isn't that hard. It's just that you only have one shot to do it. And because of that, you're very nervous and tense. And that is probably the best aspect of it, because in parkour we train to be able to do something the first time, the best time. And just applying that Ninja Warrior just kind of felt pretty good.
So what does Sweeney think is the most difficult aspect of parkour? Is it something physical or something mental?
I think the hardest part is probably the mental aspects of it. As a beginner, throughout all parkour training, it's probably just fear in general. As a beginner, it's a fear of training with people around. I mean, right now we have people walking around, and people at first think it's pretty awkward to jump over a bar on a bar when there's people watching, especially when you're starting and you're kind of clumsy with it. And then the further you progress in it, once you have the ability to do something, it's just the fear of making a jump where you know you can do something yourself. We have a gym where we can practice things inside, but it's translating that outside when there's multiple variables involved. And knowing you can do something and executing and doing it is challenging at first. We really try to debunk the myth that parkour is a very, very dangerous thing to do. We never look at a jump and think, oh, maybe I'll make it, maybe I won't. We'll see if I break my leg or not. It's always something that we've tried before, that we've gotten very confident in doing, and when we execute it, it's just a matter of doing the move and knowing how to react if we don't make it.
Sweeney estimates there are about 10 people at UW and 200 in the Seattle area that regularly communicate and train in parkour. He says numbers have increased since Parkour Visions has opened. However, he would like to see that number increase.
The community here is getting a lot better in Seattle. We'd definitely like to see more students from UW coming to the gym and participating in it. In Seattle, we find a lot of people who spend a lot of time on the internet doing it, and usually people segue into parkour by watching YouTube. It's out there more and more that way. And our demographic we see at the gym is people who do computers, video games. I think the reason why it tracks that is because it has similar goal pathways where you're working on a technique, you don't quite get there, and then you can go the next day and you're progressing constantly the whole time.
Sweeney encourages anyone who is interested to stop by and check out classes at Parkour Visions.
That was really cool.
Parkour is just one of those things everybody thinks is awesome.
Next, we'll take a look at Collaboration Seattle, and that's collaboration with a K.
It's an Asian American talent show in which a UW team called Nadia competed. Let's take a look.
Collaboration Seattle is a non-profit student organization that holds an annual talent show and competition to celebrate talents of local Asian American musicians, dancers, and entertainers. This year, Collaboration Seattle has come to its third year and was held on Friday, October the 12th at the Moore Theater downtown. 6 contestants who made it through auditions to form this year's lineup competed for an opportunity to perform in a live broadcast collaboration all-star show in Los Angeles, plus a $1,000 prize. Among the contestants was Nadia, the University of Washington's premier Indian classical dance team, which also gave a performance for Desi Dhamaka earlier this year in May. On the night of Collaboration Seattle, Nadia was awarded the Audience's Choice Award with a $500 prize for their acclaimed fusion of Indian classical dance and contemporary instrumental music. We were able to speak to Nadia dance team about their bond with the UW community.
We were concerned, is the UW community going to be accepting of us? Are they going to like our dance? But we were really welcome. Every performance that we've had at UW, we really felt that people have liked us, people have really made that known to us, and it's great performing for UW, and I think that's true for all the other groups that are there too.
The costumes of Nadia dance team for Collaboration Seattle were specially designed to represent UW culture.
We always pick costumes that are that make a statement, especially with the type of color. And this costume, very easy to wear. Purple and gold, of course, representing the Huskies. We haven't done purple and gold yet, so perfect chance to show our school pride. And especially this is our last year, we wanted to leave with a bang and represent UW through our outfits.
The event also features performances from notable special guests who are all willing to support Collaboration Seattle's goal to build a platform to Asian American talent as a response to the prejudice and underrepresentation of Asian Americans in the mainstream media.
Collaboration Seattle itself is about breaking the stereotypes. It's about presenting positive representations of talented Asian Americans in media. So in that way, we feel like we are really trying to help Asian Americans break the bamboo ceiling.
Another goal of Collaboration Seattle is to provide young Asian American artists a high level to showcase their talents.
We have certain networks to the bigger name artists. We are also able to give back to the UW student community by helping them and connecting them with some of the bigger name artists.
A huge success this year, Collaboration Seattle will open its curtain next year for any Asian American artists to show their talent, driven by the mission of empowerment through entertainment. Collaboration Seattle has delivered the first of its kind show in the Pacific Northwest and has become more popular than ever in the local Asian American community.
We're looking forward to seeing more of Team Nadia competing in the future.
In other news, the new Montlake Medical Tower is open.
Let's take a tour of the facilities and see what one of the best medical institutions in the country has to offer.
Tours of the new Montlake Tower began on Friday. The 8-story tower is energy efficient, has many new additions, and in all units, the new equipment is state-of-the-art. For example, on the 8th floor, the oncology unit, they have a new family lounge that includes a small kitchen as well as a washer and dryer just in case families stay overnight. The unit has great research stations, nice staff rooms, and totally rejuvenated patient rooms. The patient rooms now have plug-in panels for computers, gaming devices, and such, a ceiling lift, and tubing plug-ins on each side of the beds to minimize the amount of tubing going across the body. Many of these additions are set in place to make everything more easy and accessible for patients. Along with all these great additions, there's also a rehabilitation therapy gym on the floor as well. On the 2nd floor, the radiology unit, UW has gotten their hands on a load of new state-of-the-art equipment, like the HD Discovery 750 Freedom, a CT scanner that uses image fusion, freezes images, and has VEO, a dose reduction capability. UW has the only HD Discovery 750 Freedom in the nation. Many of the nation's finest equipment are located in the new Mountain Lake Tower, and many are excited to use this new technology. Lastly, another unit that received a lot of improvement was the 4th floor, the neonatal intensive care unit. With over 39 single rooms and 4 suites for multiple births, these units have many great features, like sound-absorbent floors, walls, and ceilings to try and control noise, a hot towel warmer, bathing units, and blackout blinds. These additions make the environment great for premature babies and their families. Along with the new rooms, there is also an operating room on the floor as well. This is very convenient for when babies need intensive care. The Mountain Lake Tower will be slowly opening up to patients later this month. The UW medical staff is excited to have this new tower up and running, and so are patients all over the region.
In 1999, the Wachowski siblings changed cinema forever in The Matrix.
Let's see what they've done with their new film, Cloud Atlas.
David Christman reports in Film Focus.
Hello, my name is David Christman, and this is Film Focus. Some stories are easy to look at and understand, and most films follow one story. Today we're looking at a film that tells both a single story and many different stories at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cloud Atlas. Cloud Atlas is the latest film by the Wachowskis and Tom Tykwer, who are all excellent directors and writers in their own right. For this film, they put together all their experience to go beyond telling a single story in one time and place. Cloud Atlas takes part over 6 different time periods and tells 6 unique stories, and yet they're all connected. Each story builds into the others. Even if you can't always spot the connection, I at least could feel that they're all one great story. The acting in Cloud Atlas is incredible. Not only does the cast have some big names attached like Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Jim Broadbent, and Hugo Weaving, but also some wonderful people you may or may not have heard of. Jim Sturgis, Duna Bay, Ben Winshaw, and James Darcy, for instance. I couldn't point to any moment where I was thrown off because of the acting, something that's far more important for Cloud Atlas than most other films. Special mention has to go to the makeup department as well, since most of the leads appeared in each of the storylines as different characters. And thanks to the makeup and acting, I was never left wondering who someone was or what time period we were looking at. I'm sure that most of you want more details about the plot, and while I could explain what happens in each story, it wouldn't be the same thing as you watching the film. Each time period almost falls into a separate genre. There's a drama, a thriller, inspirational story, action movie, a journey, and a bit of a comedy. Any one of these stories would make an excellent film on its own, and yet I wouldn't separate them for 1 minute. Even though each can stand alone, there's something greater achieved through the interweaving of them. In terms of sheer length, Cloud Atlas is quite large, clocking in at just under 3 hours. Despite this, it doesn't feel like it's too long. Remember, we're not just looking at a single story here, so the length is not, to me, a detriment to the film. The closest I can point to in terms of how the film balances the separate stories are the second and third Lord of the Rings films, where each storyline is balanced by the others. But Cloud Atlas almost goes beyond that. Yes, each story is balanced by moving to another, but they all hit the same points at the same time. We're not watching each story individually, but rather watching all the stories happening simultaneously across all the different periods of time we see. So Cloud Atlas is amazing in terms of sheer scale of what it attempts, but does it pull it off? Well, yes. While, to be honest, I was hoping for a little bit more, I certainly wasn't disappointed by what I saw. The sheer audacity of the film is something amazing, and even though it may not be a watershed moment in the history of film, what Cloud Atlas does do is brilliant in its own right. Cloud Atlas isn't the most impressive film ever brought to screen, but if you don't go see it, I think you're doing a disservice to yourself. Cloud Atlas is rated R, open Friday the 26th of October, and it's something everyone should see.
Thank you, David.
In other news, did you know that writers could talk?
2 of our writers decided to change things up and talk instead of write. Specifically, they sat down to talk about Gangnam Style and the way American culture reacted to the video.
Let's throw it to our writers, Hayat Noramine and Sarab Andez.
Hi there, I'm Sarab Andez. I'm an opinion columnist over here at The Daily.
And I'm Hayat Norimine. I'm also an opinion columnist. And we're here to talk about Gangnam Style. So, what were your initial thoughts when you first saw the video?
So when I first watched the video, I was actually quite shocked that it had gained so much popularity in America. I think it's very difficult for any sort of foreign song. There's been a lot of foreign artists who have tried to make it in America and have been unsuccessful. So I really thought that, well, for one, this song is indicative of a positive trend of foreign artists being able to make it over here in America. But also, I found it sort of strange that the song is so foreign sounding. It has so many Korean lyrics in it. Psy's name is a foreign sounding name, and it was able to gain so much popularity in America. I think that that's like really incredible. It really defeats stereotypes that we have of like what music can be over here in America.
I think a lot of people think of it as in terms of America going past its xenophobia, but I also think that it's always a give and take in the United States. It's either become really xenophobic and there's no foreign exposure at all, or there's exposure in the sense of pointing and laughing and being kind of racist. So I think that in terms of the way the video first became viral, and that was the first thing that became popular before the song actually made it on the radio, points toward America being kind of racist in the sense of pointing and laughing at this perverted male Asian stereotype that stares at girls' butts and is not afraid to make a fool of himself in public. And I think that just kind of perpetuates an Asian stereotype. So in that sense, I don't think that it points to a positive trend.
Yeah, so I completely buy that. I definitely think that the reason that the video was able to make it so far in America was because, you know, it was something that was funny to laugh at. When I first watched it, it sort of looked like LMFAO. But now that I think the song has gotten past the humor and you sort of hear it in places you wouldn't expect, like for example, at a bar or on the radio in your car, or last weekend they played at the Huskies game. I think that for a song the song is it's authentically liked. You know, Americans really want the song to be played, other than its humor. You know, outside of the humor.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that Psy was the first K-pop star to make it. One, because the song Gangnam Style was pretty much completely in Korean, and also because he is completely Asian. In terms of foreigners making it into the United States.
Not completely Asian, right? I think he studied at Berkeley.
Yeah, but I mean, he looks Asian.
Right, exactly,
in terms of profiling, I guess he looks completely Asian. But for example, Shakira, I think, is a good example of a foreigner making it into the United States. Shakira is pretty ethnically ambiguous, and she has a lot of fusion-style music. There's a lot of Middle Eastern and Latina and African influences in her music, so I think she's a good example of a foreigner who would be able to make it in the United States. And in terms of Psy, as much as I would like to believe that a completely Asian guy would make it in the US, I think that more points toward something that could be seen as not very positive at all.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, in terms of, you know, where we are, but I think, like you said before, it's trending in a good direction. Like he definitely opens the door for more K-pop stars and more Asian stars.
Yeah, it could definitely lead to a lot of positive exposure of other K-pop stars. So I think we're out of time. You've heard what we've had to say about Gangnam Style. I'm Hayat Norimine.
And I'm Sora Bandaz.
And we would like to hear from you as well, so feel free to leave a comment on your opinions of the song as well.
You know, I never would have thought that America's reaction to Gangnam Style would be so important.
It's good to get some perspective. Last up, David Christman will do another review for us.
Don't worry, it's not a film review. David's just going to review this new restaurant called Cultivate, located in Elm Hall. Let's check it out.
Hi, my name's David Christman. Normally, I review films for the Double Shot, but today I'm going to be looking at HFS's new restaurant called Cultivate. It's located in Elm Hall at the corner of Brooklyn and 41st. Now, it's reputed to have wonderful, fresh, local ingredients. So let's go inside and check out how the food is. So the first thing that I noticed coming into Cultivate is that it's really nice, it's clean, it's modern. It's a little bit loud, but that's okay. You're not really hearing other people's conversations. There's a great view of Campus Parkway, and there's a lot of seating. The service has been great so far. Tonight, I decided to order the cream of golden cauliflower soup and the halibut, both from their fresh sheet. So those are going to be changing. You may not be able to have those when you're here. However, what you will have is something that's fresh guaranteed. I've decided to stick with water to drink just so that I don't confuse any flavors of the drink and what I'm eating. So as we're waiting, we've been brought some Italian herb potato chips. Nice, thickly cut. Nice flavoring, not too salty, and they're still a little bit warm. It's presented really nicely. Soup looks great, nice piece of bread on the side. Let's try some. It's got a nice flavor. It's very smooth. Personally, I'd say maybe a little bit bland, but that's okay. It's nice, good texture. Let's try a little bit of the rice. The rice is good. It looks like the same rice that HFS uses in most of its kitchens, but it's treated a little bit better here. Finally, let's try a little bit of the halibut. Very nice. Fresh, firm, not overdone. Nice coloring on it. Presentation is excellent. Good flavor. Clean, exactly what you'd expect. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna eat a bit. So I've just finished my dinner at HFS's new restaurant, Cultivate. All in all, I'd say it's a great place. It's sleek, modern, and the food is fresh. Really fresh. I'm up on the mezzanine level right now, which can be reserved for private groups. It's got a nice open kitchen, can see everything, there's a lot of seating, and overall it's quite nice. The food itself, it's definitely very fresh, high quality ingredients. If anything, it's a little bit under-seasoned, but that's okay. It's better than being over-seasoned, which a lot of places do. I wouldn't come here every day, but maybe once in a while, like if my parents were visiting campus, I'd bring them here. I'm David Christman, and this has been Food Focus, Restaurant Review, Gourmet Gab. We'll work on the title. Until then, see you later.
Well, gang, that's it for us.
Thanks for watching. We'll have another episode ready for you on November 9th.
In the meantime, you can check us out online at youtube.com/thedaily.
I'm Austin Siedentoff.
And I'm Brianna Varela.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time
On The Daily's Double Shot.